What is up, everyone? Welcome to Reality Room Podcast with Paul
and Chris. Give me the list. I'm Big Brother 18, episodes 23 to 25.
That's right, guys. This is Reality Room Podcast, episode 31. We've come a long way.
Yeah.
About
time.
Yeah, about time, right? This is the one we've been waiting for.
This is the one
folks.
we've been waiting for, guys.
Ever since episode 1 with Big Brother Canada, we've just been waiting for episode 31. Okay, so enough of the jokes. Back to Big Brother.
Right, so let's get on with the 23rd episode. We're just going to do really quick, big highlights on the episode.
That's
so
right, guys.
on episode 23, Paulie decides to win the veto. I'm not exactly sure why he wanted to win the veto if he wasn't going to use it regardless.
Yeah, exactly. So this put him in a precarious situation, I feel, because his girl, Zakia, is on the block, and he feels, and she would think that he would use it on her. But on the other hand, he has his alliance members, the executives, who would not want him to use it. So it's like his
double-edged sword.
He has a double-edged sword. His desires, he just should not have won this veto. It just does not make any sense for his game, and I don't understand why he would have done it. But the veto competition was which one, Chris?
It's the one where you have to hide certain items within the house,
Yeah.
and whoever pretty much outlasts their item wins.
Yeah, exactly. And last season, I remember James won it, so he was playing in this season again. So it's like, oh, maybe he'll win again. But he got pretty far, but he just didn't win. And the house was a fucking mess at the end of it. I thought it was really fun.
He just threw eggs everywhere.
Yeah, this is him as last season. I love it.
So let's just get right into the live eviction episode.
Let's go right into it.
So, James has this power where he can nullify 2 votes, and he decides to nullify Corey and Paul's vote. Good choice. Mm-hmm. James has no blood on his hands.
That's right. If you got, to be honest, the person that's in the best position with this vote nullification would be Paul. Because he can still play both sides of the house. And also Victor, because he's HOH and they don't know which side of the house he's working with. So those two are in the best positions if that's the case. Because as you guys remember from our live feed update episode, the votes did indeed flip in favor of Michelle staying. Because of James's power, nullifying Paul and Corey's vote.
Yeah, so moving on to the episode, Zakia leaves by a 3-2 vote, and episode 25, the nomination episode, we have a little recap of like what actually happened during the double eviction, and James tells Paulie, Corey, and Nicole that he doesn't want Zakia in the house. It's not good for his game.
Basically,
Paulie, I'm not doing what you want to do. And then Paulie got pissed off and said, well, you better make sure you win that HOH.
Yeah, it seems like Paulie's being very confrontational in the game now, which honestly is not good for his game. Like when you're playing the game of Big Brother, someone says they're going after you, you have to like stay calm, stay cool, and you have to state like reasons why they should not be doing this. Yeah. Paulie was just like, listen, if you do this, you're fucked or whatever, and I'm going after you. And that's the problem. Like they showed the thing with Natalie too, that she was that she talked to Zakia about Paulie like flirting with her or whatever. Yeah. And like he's just like, well, you're going home next after Michelle. And I'm just like,
why is he doing that?
It's like, bye fake tits. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, Paulie. Like this is just personal attacks.
And not to mention, like even if like let's think of the scenario if you get to the final 2, like they're not going to give you your jury vote.
Yeah, James isn't going to vote for him now, and Natalie isn't going to vote for him now because you're kind of being a dick. So even if he gets the final 2, is he trying to get second place like Cody? I mean, Cody never did this shit, no offense.
I don't know what the hell is going on with him. But like, so what happens is Zakia leaves the house. She doesn't get the round trip, so she's not coming back. Corey wins the HOH, and he decides to put up Michelle and Bridget.
Yes.
Let's talk about that, because that's kind of weird.
Yeah, I thought it was weird too, because James just took this big shot at their side.
Yeah.
The point is, I don't think Corey even realizes it in his head, because I think Corey deep down, he feels like, okay, Zakia's still going home. That's still a girl leaving. The executives are still together. Yeah. That's what he's thinking right now. So Corey's like, okay, listen, he brings in all the guys, and you remember what he said. Mm-hmm. So he brings in, I think everyone except for Paul, because he was like in another room kind of like shitting his pants.
They're like, are we doing this? Are we staying together? And they're like, yeah. And then he decides to put up Bridget and Michelle.
Yeah, exactly.
With the intention of Bridget leaving.
Yeah, because up to this point, we actually had no idea who the target was going to be. Because it was changing around every day.
I was confused when Paulie and Nicole were fucking Bridget out over Michelle after calling her out.
Yeah, I thought that was stupid. And I thought Bridget, out of the two of them, had the better chance of working with at least Nicole. Yeah. Michelle, she already burned that bridge, it seems like. I don't know. It just seemed weird. I like Bridget a lot. Oh, by the way, the veto competition was the classic veto competition that they do every double eviction. I'm the most
ball pit.
Yeah, the most famous one being in BB13 where Jeff with the clown shoe. Oh man,
Can't forget that clown
can
shit.
never forget the clown shoe. But yeah, it was that veto, and Corey won the veto as well.
Again, why? I don't understand what the point of Corey winning all this shit. He did not need to win that veto.
But he did need to win the HOH.
Yeah, but why win the veto? Why make yourself a bigger target than you already have to?
Well,
like you can say in your HOH that, oh, I threw it, or you can say like, wow, I can't believe I got that question right. But when you're playing a physical competition and you realize that you're winning the veto, it puts a bigger target on your back, and that's what people said. That's what Paul and I think Paul and Natalie or Paul and James said. They're like, wow, Corey's actually really good at competitions, and he's just been hunting it this whole season.
Right, they've been saying that he downplays his competition skills, which
Because
honestly,
if you really think about Corey, Corey's won the veto that he needed to win when Tiffany put him up on the block. So now
that's true.
he did not need to win. I don't understand why he won this veto.
Yeah, I don't understand either. But then again, when you look at Paulie and Corey's gameplay, they just seem to win when they don't need to now.
Yeah, it's
Like-
not good.
Paulie won a couple of vetoes he didn't have to. Corey now won the veto he doesn't have to. But in Corey's defense, he didn't have a lot of time to think about it. You know, it's kind of like so quick. He wins HOH. It's kind of like, oh, well, I don't know what people are going to do, and I don't want to have to piss anyone off.
But even if that was the case, like, and let's say like Michelle or Bridget, they won the veto, like just put up Natalie.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think Natalie would have left.
Who cares?
Right, but then he's the only showman's left, and he's a bigger
Oh,
target.
maybe.
So that's like I don't think he was thinking about that. Like, but I think
I don't think Natalie would have left if she was on the block with Michelle.
I think she would have.
I don't know.
I think she would have.
Let us know what you guys think in the comments.
Yeah, what do you guys think in the comment section below? I know that Natalie pissed Paulie off a lot, so we would probably try to rally the guys together. So it would probably be Paulie, Nicole voting out, Natalie. Actually, I don't know now. It's tough to say.
Whatever. It's kind of like just up in the air. So, Michelle. Let's talk about Michelle's eviction speeches because they were pretty intense.
They're pretty intense.
And they were funny.
Yeah, go for it.
So, Michelle's first eviction speech with Zakia was pretty much just throwing Paulie under the bus, saying that you were handing him $500,000 a couple of minutes ago.
I mean, spot the lie, though. I mean, that's basically what happened.
Pretty much, yeah. Just right on point.
That's what everyone was saying on Twitter and Reddit for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, just give Paulie the money already if you're gonna play like this.
Yeah. And then she did it again when she was on the block with Bridget because she thought she was going. That was funny. She's like, what?
Yeah, but like, I understand why they voted Bridget out. Bridget was the bigger threat. Michelle was.
It's a
Michelle
double-edged
was-
sword on regardless because if you keep the bigger threat in the house, that person's the bigger threat over you. But by keeping Michelle, it'll be everybody else leaving over Michelle.
Michelle's. Well, she's not a floater anymore, but
Yeah.
up to that point, she was a floater. Like, she wasn't calling anyone out. She was kind of floating when she had to float. But this week, well, last week rather, she had to step up her game and actually pick a side, and that's what she did. So she's no longer floating, thankfully. But up to that point, she has been. Where Bridget had a set alliance member the entire time, and then has just also, along with Michelle, has just got another alliance, and Bridget has one more. And
Yeah.
she does well in competitions, even when her fucking knee and ankle are messed up.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have to realize Bridget's a fucking beast. Like, you saw her in the fucking
Yeah.
veto competition.
Yeah, she was gonna go with just one ankle.
Yeah, right? She has a fucking brace on her knee and her fucking ankle, and she's still doing that well. Girl's a fucking beast.
Okay, so Michelle calls Paulie out and she calls Nicole a snake and says Jose was right. I really didn't think she was gonna say that in her speech, but when she did, I was like, yes.
She's a snake. She's always been a snake.
Nicole's a snake. Jose was right. She tried to make a deal with me before the double eviction.
Scenarios. I fucking love
All right,
Jose.
so let's go on to episode 25. Victor wins the HOH, where it's pretty much you have to guess which pattern is with what.
Yeah, like the HOH
Like
Bennies.
how many squirrels are in one spot, and
Yeah,
I mean
the-
some of these are pretty hard.
Yeah, the Bennies or whatever. Like
The bennies, yeah.
I was like looking at it. I was like,
What the fuck?
I guess it's easier for them because they actually have like a multiple choice.
Yeah, because they only have 3 options. You have a 33% chance of getting it right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it takes a little longer than it shows on the show.
Yeah.
Because like it is edited, but
Also, I want to point out the fallout of the double eviction. Nicole calls out Michelle about, I tried to make a deal, you blah, blah, blah. Michelle was like, well, you did. And then she
Just-
says something about the fatal three. Let's make an alliance, you me and Natalie called the Fatal 3, and she said it in front of everyone.
And Corey's just like, she's not happy with you. Well, if you weren't happy with her, throw her out. What are you doing?
Yeah.
That's not how you play Big Brother. Again, they're playing Big Stupid, Chris.
Yep, I know. So,
Be the bigger target.
Victor wins to HOH. We had this whole flashback with Natalie and Paulie fighting. We already discussed this before.
Yeah, we discussed this.
So, we all know Paulie. For some reason, Paulie thinks he's safe.
Paulie is an idiot. And, like, he's talking to, like, Paul and shit, and it's just kind of like, well, I don't trust Paul anymore. Well, if you don't trust Paul, and the only person you trust is Corey, and why do you think you're safe this week?
Exactly.
Like, this is the only week you shouldn't think you're safe. Every other week you were fine.
Yeah.
But then you started talking in your mouth like blah 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 fake tits blah blah blah. I don't trust you blah blah blah. Jersey girls.
I don't understand. Okay, so he's like, oh, I want to play the Derek game. Derek, stop. He keeps comparing himself to Derek and Cody.
He is nothing like Derek, and he's nothing like Cody.
He's nothing like either of them.
Yeah, they both played way better games.
Yeah. Now, yeah. Calling out Natalie, calling her, saying she has fake tits, like,
yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Personal attacks, it's just not cool, bro.
Like, thousands of people try to get on the show, and you're gonna call someone whatever.
I mean, just
like,
keep it on. Just keep it on a game level.
Keep it on. Go on the fucking DR and talk about that shit. You don't need to say it in front of everyone.
Yeah,
that's what the DR is for in the first place.
It's not gonna help you out to say that stuff in front of everyone because people are gonna look at you like you're,
So okay, so let's move on a little bit. So Paul decides to go and tell Victor, listen, we have to take a shot at Corey and Paulie. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's great that Paul is the one to do it because this time last week. It was PP to the end. PP. Yeah. But you know what? Paul's an adaptable guy. Mm-hmm. You remember first week, he's fucking with Jose. He's on the other side of the house. 3 weeks later, he's with Paulie and then forms the executive.
He's good at adapting.
Yeah,
very good at adapting.
It's like evolution. We get to see the evolution of Paul in this game. Yeah. I think he's worked with everyone in the game at some point. Every single person.
Paul for the win.
Paul for the win. Victor too, actually.
Victor too, yeah.
Now, yeah, Victor too.
Victor, yeah.
Except for Tiffany. I don't think either of them worked with Tiffany ever.
No. So, let's talk about the nomination ceremony. He nominates Paulie and Corey and tells Paulie that he said that you put me on the block and I got evicted, correct?
Yeah, he did say
that's what he said in the speech. And then Corey is guilty by association. Again, with this whole...
It makes sense, though. Yeah. Like, it's, listen...
And it makes sense, right, exactly, because Nicole's safe. So, if Corey was off the block and Corey won veto and took Paulie down, they're both safe.
Yeah, exactly.
And Nicole would also be safe, so duh.
Yeah, who would go home?
Exactly, yeah. Nicole can't be nommed again, so it makes sense why Corey would go
Like Michelle or James would go home, probably. One of the ones.
So that was smart. Thank you, Victor and Paul.
Thank you, Victor and Paul.
For making the season interesting.
That would be an interesting Final Two if it happens. I don't think it would. I don't think Victor's going to make it to Final Two, but you never know. I wouldn't mind it. I do like Victor a lot now.
So Paulie starts crying and saying, I was so loyal to everyone. And Paul starts dancing and it was hysterical.
Oh, how the tables have turned. Paulie made fun of every house guest for fucking crying on the block. And there he is fucking crying in the DR like, the worst thing is, I'm going to win the veto. And I have to see my boy go home. And I'm just like, Paulie, fuck you. Yeah, you're an asshole. Just go home, go big or go home.
I just don't understand why Paulie thought it was a good idea to call everybody out. You're not, I think what happened was he was getting so caught up in winning all these competitions where he was just like, all right, I can say whatever the fuck I want to anyone.
He thought he got too cocky, and you know what, that happens in the Big Brother house. Yeah. People find themselves too safe, and that's the thing. He was always worried about being a target.
Yeah.
Which is strange that he would do all these call-outs. When you think you're going to be a target, you kind of have to keep your mouth...
Like Paul. And it's funny because, he's Cody's brother, yet a recruit put him up on the block.
Yeah, right?
Victor and Paul are recruits. I gotta say, I will say this right now. Victor and Paul being recruits, they're playing really fucking good games.
Exactly. And, here's the thing about recruits, though. Like, by the end of the game, by mid-game, mid to end game, they get how to play.
Yeah,
they know. Like, when recruits go early, there's nothing you can do about it. They never get the chance to learn.
Yeah.
But by mid to end game, they all know how to play, and they all know how to play well. That's why Paul's playing good strategically. That's why I don't know if Bridget was... I don't know if Bridget was... Right. I don't know if Bridget was a recruit or not. There was some people that...
She said she watched a few seasons.
Yeah. You had Natalie, who's learning to play more strategically. Corey knows how to play strategically too. He thought he had the guy alliance to the end. That's just the way it's been. Paul and Victor, they've just been playing really good nowadays, and we'll see if it keeps up next week.
All right, so I guess we could just go with live feed and spoilers. So we find out that Victor does win the power veto.
Yep, Victor wins the power
Nicole
veto.
has to. Well, we already know this, but Nicole has to wear because she got super safety, so she has to wear the cone outfit.
That's right, guys. So somehow Nicole won the care package this week, and I think what happened was like someone was posting on like her Facebook page or someone's posting on like on her Twitter, and she has like a shit ton of followers.
Yeah.
And they were telling people to vote for her. So she's like 12th on Jokers.
Which was kind of stupid because like she wasn't going home anyways.
Yeah, she wasn't going home anyway, unless I don't know. It would be a big toss up between.
They should have gave it to her next week when she got the co-HOH.
Yeah, that's
she would have been safe and she would have been able to put someone up.
Yeah, that's true. I predict Michelle's gonna win the co-HOH.
I think so too.
Unless she wins HOH, in which case I think it'll be Victor. Or maybe Nicole fans will all vote for Corey. I don't know.
Maybe.
I wouldn't be too happy.
There's only 2 more left though.
Yeah.
Two more care packages.
And the last I think the last one will put a target on whoever wins it back, by the way.
Yeah, but they don't have to do that.
Yeah, I know. But still.
Do they have to read that out loud?
Yeah.
Alright.
Hello, I think Victor or Paul's going to win it. One of them's going to become a bigger target.
Yeah.
I think that's just what.
That's
okay.
what's gonna
happen, yeah.
So I think it's safe to say that Victor is probably not going to use the power veto.
That would be today, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We
get it. Even if it is,
Victor did not use the power
Victor
veto.
didn't use the power veto, so obviously Paulie is going to go.
Yeah. So Paulie's going to go.
Now we just have to know if the round trip ticket is in Paulie's favor, and if it is, we can assume there's not going to be a buyback. We're not going to do double buybacks. Because then there would be 9 people in the house.
Right. If Paulie wins the round trip ticket,
yeah.
I don't know what Friday's episode will be.
I don't know what the fuck Friday's gonna be.
So okay, people have been speculating that Friday will be a buyback if there is no round trip ticket.
They would have mentioned that though. They would have mentioned the buyback.
I don't know. Like maybe they want to do a bigger twist.
Maybe a bigger twist, but they would have mentioned to Devon and the rest of them being like, you might not have the round trip ticket, but you do have a chance of getting back into the game.
I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to give them false hope in case it wasn't like active.
It will be very anticlimactic if nobody gets the round trip ticket and they all just open it up. Imagine that, like Paulie doesn't get it, and then everyone open your round trip ticket up, and it's like Michelle.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Who do you think? All right, so let's predict that. Who do you think has the round trip ticket? I think Michelle has
I
it.
think Paulie has it.
You think so?
Paulie or Paul? Because Paul was the first one in there, and Paulie seemed like production seems to kind of like him.
Yeah, but
at that point,
I think it's luck though.
I hope it's luck. I hope it's luck.
Anything else?
I think we pretty much covered it. They do have some punishments in the house. Paulie has to bake some pies or some shit.
What, an apron?
Yeah, and he's threatening not to make pies.
And he said he's gonna like self-evict.
He says he's gonna self-evict and
not going into jury
not
house.
Going to jury house. I think it's all bullshit. Paul has to like drug test people. Like
he has like a Men in Black outfit on. It's cool.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. Well, yeah, I think we just end it right there.
All right, guys. So this has been Rally Room Podcast, episode 31 with Paul and Chris.
That's right, guys. And until next time,
Peace.